What's up, guys? Welcome back to RT2CC Club. Justin here, and another 2-day recap for you guys. This is for July 5th and 6th, so the last 2 days of the week. So let's just get into it and try to keep this short. So the stocks did do pretty well these last couple days. So on Thursday, the Dow finished up 182 points, and the NASDAQ 83 points. So very, very solid performance for them today. And Tesla was one of the few stocks that didn't finish in the green. But you can see really, really good day for Google and Netflix and Facebook. Really solid day for them. And Universal Display finished up $4.15 a share. So that was awesome. So let's just go right into the positions. We had a lot of winners. So you'll see the balance is kind of hiding behind that. You'll see that when I talk about the losers because there weren't that many. But once again, the far right column, that's today's gain. So for July 5th, that's on the most right column. That's how much we made on each one of those positions. So our top performer, percentage-wise, we had Cypress went up 37%, but you can see the price is only $37 a contract, so it's not worth a lot. So I kind of like to focus on the top of the list. We had our Universal Display calls went up 12%, so we made $190 on those, and then our Google call went up 13.64%, so we made $300 on that one, and then our top gainer for like money wise was Amazon, finished up $396 for the day. So really excited about that. And then our OLED stock, you can see there, went up 4.54%. So that was awesome. So let's go to our losers now. And so there you can see our balance. We did finish the day up about $3,700. So really, really solid day. I'm super excited about that. And then, so our puts, obviously because we had a good day, our puts you can expect to be at the bottom of the list. So our QQQ puts, we finished down 10% on that, so we lost $1,230. Again, I'm still happy about that because I'd rather lose money on my puts because that means the market's doing well. But the SPY put, we lost $920, and then in terms of percentages, Roku and Ferrari, we took the biggest drop with those. We lost about $190 on each of those, so not too bad overall. So let's go into the next day. So the stocks did do pretty well. They started off, the Dow was down a little bit, the NASDAQ was up, and as the day went on, you can see there like at 10 o'clock, the Dow was up 90 points already, then went up 131, and then finished at $99, or 99 points up, and then the NASDAQ went up 101 points, so that's amazing. That like whenever the NASDAQ goes up triple digits, that's insane. So it's like a really, really good day for them. So let's just go into the positions, and then we'll talk about the top 2 articles for each day, and then we'll wrap it up. So let's do it. Okay, so again, a lot of gainers on this day. I think that might be all of them. Let me double check real quick. Okay, actually there were 16 other gainers on this list, but they were all under $100 in gain for the day, so I didn't include them. These are just the top ones that performed well for us today on the 6th. So I would say our top performer overall was definitely AMD. They went up, our calls went up about 17%. We made $580 just on those calls on that day. So that is awesome. And then NVIDIA, of course, had a really good day. We made almost $1,000 with them. So really, really excited about that. Our Square calls went up 15%. The Twitter calls went up 15%, or about 16%. So you can see a lot of double-digit gainers there in percentages, which is awesome to see. Let's go to our losers. There weren't too many. I believe this is the full list here. So we had our Riot blockchain calls went down half, but they went from 10 cents a share to 5 cents. So really, we pretty much lost our whole investment on that one. So by the way, when I do sell my positions, I will include the final ROI for that position. So right now I don't have the total gain or loss yet, but I will start including that in the September videos. I will start to include that, but it was just easier for me right now to just include the daily gains. But yeah, so our biggest loser by far was our QQQ put. Again, we lost $1,250 this time on that, and we lost $940 on our SPY puts. So not really too excited about that as a 2-day total because we did drop quite a bit with that. So I might be looking to get rid of those pretty soon. But yeah, so those are our losers, and now let's just go to our RT2CC Club top 2 articles of the day. So let's start with July 5th. So I'm going to pull up those articles here. Now, as a whole, again, it was people were getting a little bit less worried about the trade war stuff. It's literally been the same story. Every time the stocks go up, it's like people getting less worried about the trade war, and every time the stocks go down, people are getting more worried about the trade war. So it's kind of been a recurring theme here, but this article says Wall Street rises on U.S. EU trade relations optimism. This one had to do specifically with the EU, actually. It says that the Wall Street's major indexes rose on Thursday as reports that the United States and the European Union may agree to withdraw auto tariffs. So I haven't checked on the update of that to see if that actually happened by the time you're watching this in September. But still, at this point in time, it was definitely really, really good news. And so that's the general news. Now I'm going to talk about the top two articles. So the first one is JD.com could be returning to Russia. I did check for a September update on this. I couldn't find anything, so I don't know if it's actually happened yet, but JD.com is kind of like an Alibaba competitor in China, and they were in Russia apparently, and then they pulled out, so they're not currently operating in Russia as of right now, but they said they could be partnering with this Alpha Group's X5 retail group, which owns a nationwide network of discount stores. I can't pronounce the name of that city, but also supermarkets and carousel hypermarkets. I'm not sure exactly what those are, but if they do partner with them, what they would do is people can order from JD.com and they can have their orders delivered to one of those stores and then they can pick them up there. And I'm not sure if they'll do home deliveries or not. They might, but anyways, it could be a really good opportunity for them because, you know, Russia is a really big country. There's a lot of people there. It could be a really good market for them to expand to. Alibaba, I think, is in that market right now, so they're the big competitor right now. But if they can expand in new markets, that's always a good thing. So I'm hoping that this can play out really well for JD because we do have a position with JD.com. So we'll see how that goes. So now the next article. So these articles I'm not going to talk about. I'm just going to give honorable mentions. And again, links will be in the description below for all of these. But this one's why Facebook killed a trio of once promising apps. So that's going to be an interesting one to read. Cramer says accidentally anti-Chinese FANG stocks are perfect for this market. So that one, I think I kind of mentioned that before, but link in the description for that one. Okay, so the second article of the day I want to talk about is, and this is going to be related to the question of the day, so I'm going to ask you guys a question later on. But bulls beware, Apple News looks negative for Universal Display. So they're saying that despite the rumor, and obviously the keynote for Apple was yesterday, so you guys all know what iPhones are coming out. But this article talks about, despite the fact that 2 of the 3 phones were going to have OLED displays, which is, you'd think, normally good news for Universal Display because they sell the components and they license their technology to other display manufacturers to make the displays. They said that even though that might sound good on paper, Apple was kind of placing an increase in orders for the iPhone XR model because they predict that might be selling more. And as you probably know, the iPhone XR is not an OLED display. It's the one of the 3 phones that has an LCD display. So I still think long term, I do believe more and more smartphones will be using OLED technology. They also talk about how Apple is kind of working on that micro LED technology. A lot of people don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I'm not too worried about that yet. And again, there's still a chance that Universal Display could, start doing that as well. So it's not like, they're going to just give up if someone else comes up with more technology. They're going to keep innovating and doing research and development. So my question of the day for you guys is, 1, are you guys planning on, or any of you planning on getting the iPhone XS, either of those OLED models? And if not, despite whether you answer yes or no to that first question, do you think the iPhone XR will outsell the XS models? So I would love to hear your feedback and input on that one. So please comment below what you think, which model you think is going to sell the most. I personally don't know. It's because when you look at the specs, they're so similar. Like the iPhone XR does almost everything that the iPhone XS does. The main difference is the display is not as good. The sharpness is not as good. The contrast is not as good. So you're not getting as good of a display. So it's going to be tough. And it's $250 cheaper than the iPhone XS and $350 cheaper than the iPhone XS Max. So that is quite a big difference in price. And, there are a lot of people who aren't tech geeks like myself and who just don't care about really the specs. They just want a phone that works so they can make calls and text and take pictures. So I really don't know. I'm on the fence. I don't know which phone is going to sell more, but I am hoping, obviously, because we have a big position in Universal Display, I'm hoping those phones sell more because that would be very promising for them. All right, so let's go to the top 2 articles of the day for July 6th. So in general news, in fact, I didn't really take any screenshots of actual company-specific news, so one of the articles will be general market news, but this article, this is not one of them, but this is the article I'm going to link to. Founder of world's largest hedge fund says, first day of trade war with China has begun. So that's kind of scary, but I'll read about that. I'll post a link in the description. Stock market gets Wall Street vote of confidence even as jitters over trade loom. Again, stuff you've probably heard before. The first article I'll talk about in the top 2, U.S. jobs growth lifts Wall Street offsetting tariffs. So this one was talking about the jobs numbers because they report jobs numbers every month. So whenever they're about to report that, it's a good time to pay attention. Although I am guilty of not paying attention sometimes just because I'm doing stuff. I don't know. But anyways, they're talking about non-farm payrolls increased by 213,000 jobs last month. So in June, the U.S. Labor Department says topping expectations of 195,000, while the unemployment rate rose from an 18-year low to 4%. And average hourly earnings rose 0.2%. I have mentioned in the past why a lot of analysts think that you don't want to go too low with the unemployment rate. So if you aren't familiar with that, you can look it up. But basically, a lot of the general consensus is if we drop down to 3.5% unemployment, it could put us at risk of another recession. So it's actually probably a good thing that it went back up to 4%. Again, it's kind of counterintuitive, and I forget 100% why that is. I did talk about it, though, in a prior vlog. But you can look it up. You can find a lot of explanations about why that is. So that was the first article. And then this one, no longer just noise, ongoing trade uncertainty saps investor confidence. This one said a reading of investor bullishness is at a 3-month low. But this was back in July. So who knows if it could have changed in August, because August was a pretty decent month. Okay, so the last article, second article that I'm going to talk about for July 6th is 3 reasons why Microsoft has been on a spending spree lately. So, don't forget about Microsoft. There's a lot of coverage on like Tesla, Facebook, the FANG stocks, but you don't hear a lot about Microsoft. But they're still a very solid company and a huge company. So, but this article talks about 3 reasons why they've been acquiring a lot of companies. They recently acquired GitHub. They've acquired Flipgrid. Haven't heard of them, but they're a Minneapolis-based startup which creates a social learning application for teachers and students. So they're acquiring a lot of companies, and this article is talking about the 3 reasons why. The first one, they says it's a continued shift away from the PC. So they're saying the personal computer is kind of fading away in relevancy, and so them going into different markets, acquiring all these other companies is kind of positioning them in a good spot to do well in those other markets. So the second one is increased competition from tech rivals. So again, Amazon, Google, a lot of competition. So one of the ways they stay relevant and can compete with those companies is by acquiring other companies, which is what Google and Amazon do. So you kind of have to do the same thing if you want to compete with them. So lastly, sector-wide inflection point. It's kind of talking about, this one mentions artificial intelligence and how AI is going to be blowing up soon. It already is, but it's going to be blowing up a lot more. And so it said, Microsoft needs to be positioned correctly as the power of AI starts to increase exponentially. So that's another reason why Microsoft is acquiring a lot of companies. So that's kind of the summary with that. If you want to read the full article, though, I will post a link in the description below. And that's going to wrap it up for today's recap. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, question of the day. Do you guys, any of you planning on buying the iPhones, and which phone do you think will sell the most, the XR or the XS and S Max? I really would appreciate your comments. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one.